And we're live. Hi guys, welcome welcome to Cross Paths. It's me, Lucian. Just me today. Just kidding. No, I do have some special guests, you guys. Dave, unfortunately, is away on a business trip to Chicago, so it will be me and Chris as usual. And we have another guest on today who is going to be in place of Dave. This is going to be so exciting. And we are going to be doing the hashtag that was started by Simon from the Hermit's Cave, and it is hashtag. I forgot. Oh, get to know your tarot tubers A to Z. So it's literally a list of quick questions from A to Z, and we will show you what our response is. So without further ado, I'm going to quickly do our little video intro as usual, and I'll bring our guests right in. They're muted. Awkward. Okay. Hi, Chris. Hi, Robin. How are you guys?
Hi guys. Yep, good,
Hold
thank
on.
you. How are yous?
I
Good,
can't
good,
get in the
good.
chat for some reason.
That's weird. I don't remember. I think. Wait, Chris, are you able to see the chat?
I can
Yeah, I
see
can
it.
see
I
it.
can see it, but I can't type into it.
Oh, okay. Chris,
Oh
are you
yeah,
able to
are
type?
you?
Or is that normal?
Yeah, but only because I've got it up on YouTube, so you can't type on it in live comments on StreamYard. So yeah,
Okay.
that's normal.
Okay.
So
Well, hello,
yeah, I can
everybody.
see everybody.
Hi, guys. So let's quickly say hi to the people in the chat. We have Lily B, we have Fallen, we have Simon, Aquarius Owl, we have Chris. Oh, hi, Chris. I do that every time.
I know I was going to say.
Hi, Sophie. Hi, Caroline. Hi, John. Hi, Danny. Hi, MA. Awesome. So, oh, hi, Wiley, and welcome. So, as I said earlier, we're going to be doing the hashtag get to know your tarot tubers, hashtag tarot tubers A to Z, and I decided to bring on Robin and Chris to join. And I know, Robin, you did this hashtag on your channel, right?
Yep.
Good. Awesome. So let's get started, shall we? Oh, hold on. Quick question here, because Jez just asked, where is it? Did you color your hair? Yes, I did, Jez. I went a kind of silver blonde. This time, I wanted to do something a bit different because I usually go to like super platinum white blonde. So this time I decided to go a little bit more silvery. I don't know what you guys think. Do you like it? Do I look old?
You're looking particularly handsome, Lucian.
Oh, thank you. Which brings us to A of the questions. What is your
Hang on,
age?
Lucy, before you start, I've
Mhm.
got a wee
Oh, yeah.
unboxing to do, so you want me to do that
Oh,
first, or will I do that at the
Yeah.
end?
Go ahead. Yeah, we can start that.
Okay, so I had a new tarot deck come today, guys. When I say unboxing, I've done the whole prep thing where I've taken the plastic off first. But it's this, and as you can blooming well hear, the cards all move about inside, so it's not the best box, I'll say that right away. But Ben BJam had recommended this to me, and I've been kind of wanting to get it for a while, so I decided to. I won't spend a great amount of time because I'm sure everyone's seen this, but if I just flick through a couple, maybe. So the Magician looks kind of cool. Right off. This is where you see me being rubbish at showing this camera things. High Priestess with all the different. She's very kind of linked to the moon, isn't she? Wired to the moon, as it were. That Empress looks raging. She's like, "Meh, my grapes." Yeah, looking pretty cool. Yeah, sorry. Just
That's
wanted
okay.
to show everybody.
What deck was that again?
It is the Anna K Tarot.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
it's like quite a kind of small size up and down the way. But yeah, it's a good wee one. So that as compared to a normal. Oh, it's actually almost a normal size up and down the way actually, but across the way it's quite big.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to work with it. See how I got on with it. So I'll shuffle it throughout the video. I think I'll just sit and shuffle away.
No problem. I'll bring us back. So,
Sorry.
I did have 2 new decks that arrived, but I'll do that towards the end so we can start up our hashtag here. So the first one is age, letter A. What's everyone's age?
31.
And you, Robin?
I want to go last because I suspect I'm more than both of you combined.
Oh, that's okay. Age is just a number, but I will go first. Or I guess second in this case. I am 5,672. And how do I look so young? It's my regiment that I do every morning. I just soak my face in the blood of my enemy, and it just keeps me young and beautiful. The only thing that changes throughout the years is my hair just gets grayer and grayer. No, I am 39. No, I'm not even
Oh.
39. I'm 29. I don't even know my own age anymore.
You know, there's a word for that, Lucian. That's called being a compulsive liar. That is.
So it turns out I am older than both of you combined. I'm 67.
Oh, that's
Really?
awesome.
You don't look 67,
Not
Robin.
at all.
If I can say.
No, you look more like you're in your 40s, if anything.
Well, thank you. I
No
think.
problem. Hi,
Yeah.
Zane, who just came in.
Simon said up and down the way. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word, Simon. I couldn't think of what is the word that I'm trying to say. Vertically,
So what does
vertically,
up
rather
and
than
down the way mean?
up and down, up and down, up and down the
Oh,
way,
up and
vertically.
down.
Actually, it was the first thing that came into my head. So yeah. Right, yeah. So that's everybody's
So,
age.
yep, that was A. So fun.
B.
Number B is book. What is your favorite book?
Well, I have always really liked the Harry Potter books, and I was going to say Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, but I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with J.K. Rowling and all her, or Rowling, how you pronounce it, and all her antics lately. Particularly, she's been quite transphobic lately, and you know, it's really put me off her. And sadly, it's kind of put me off her books a wee bit, which I know is really stupid. Like it shouldn't put me off the book, but it just kind of does. It gives me a bad taste in my mouth. So, I also really like. There's an author called Harlan Coben, and he writes some really good kind of crime stuff. Here's one example actually. It's a book called Shelter. But he's a really good writer, and he's got like his books have like twists, like really good twists and stuff, and I like that. I like a good mystery. So Harlan Coben, anything by him, I'll go with that.
Awesome. What about you, Robin?
My favorite book is The Golden Key by George MacDonald. He's a Brit from the late 1800s. This edition is illustrated by Maurice Sendak, which probably more of you know than George MacDonald. And I think it's still in print, I'm not sure. But it's a fairy tale, but it's also sort of I don't know. It's very spiritual in a way. It's sort of a fairy tale quest for the meaning of life. So yeah, I highly recommend that. The Golden Key. And I actually found it by accident. I was working in a bookstore and I had to shelve some books, and I was in one aisle looking at music books, and I saw a misfiled book, and it was The Golden Key. And so it seemed like it was meant for me to find. I pulled it off the shelf and what is this? And I looked it over, and then I read it, and now I'm totally obsessed with it.
Oh, that's awesome. That definitely looks like an interesting book. Bam. And it's my turn. So, I was pondering this one because I thought literally most of the questions had to be tarot related. So I had a tarot book in mind. So tarot, my favorite book so far that I've been reading out of all, is probably the 78 Degrees of Wisdom. And then if it came to just a general book that I like overall, it is probably Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. That is probably one of my most favorite books I've ever read.
Cool.
Yeah. Next. So number 3 is career. What did you want to do as you were a kid, and what is it that you do now?
I can go
Start with
first.
Chris. Sure.
So right now, I work in insurance. I deal with injury claims, which sounds boring, but it's actually kind of interesting because it's like every day is different. When I was growing up, I had a couple of things I wanted to be. Main ones being a teacher and being a forensic scientist because I grew up watching CSI. CSI Las Vegas, the original one, none of your follow-up other ones. Gil Grissom was my hero. So yeah, that was what I wanted to do growing up. What about you guys?
You're
Oh,
up, Robin.
sorry.
That's okay.
I'm looking at the chat. I forgot the question. Oh, career. Well, I don't know if I thought about it when I was a kid. I think I always wanted to be an artist and sort of ended up doing that. I worked in a bookstore for a third of a century. And while I was there, I changed my position several times, but ended up being the graphic arts assistant. But I've also made, I wouldn't say it was a money-making career, but I actually did become an artist and a musician. And there's some documentation to that effect if you want to look at my Wikipedia page. I actually have my things online and in museums, and I guess that's all. I'm retired now, so in terms of career now, I don't really have a career right now. Your turn.
It is. Sorry about that. So when I was a kid, which was not that long ago, I actually had a few things that I was interested in. For example, when I was younger, I wanted to be a photographer because I come from a family of professional photographers. I am not too professional that much compared to my brother and my mom, but that's one thing I wanted to go to school for. And I remember I was having a conversation with one of my friend's mom, or my friend's mom's, my mom's friend, and he was like, "Oh, you'll never make it as a photographer, so you should just quit that dream." I was like, "Oh, well, that's depressing." So I actually did and decided to think of something different. But I had always wanted to be either a marine biologist. I also thought about going to school for criminal forensics, and then also for, hold on, I'm just trying to figure out what it's called. Not social media, but so yeah, like social marketing. Because Dave and I had always been tossing around like, okay, if you didn't want to do hairdressing anymore, what would you go back to school for? Which then brings me to my current career, which is hairdressing. So yeah, that's that.
Oh, I just wanted to follow up on something because I can't. It looks like both of you can type in the chat, but I can't. And I noticed you asked me a question, so I guess I have to verbally respond to it. You asked what instrument I play.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in bands, I played keyboards. But around 2000, I started collecting acoustic instruments. I have a pineapple ukulele, and I have several lyres and psalteries and harps. And so, yeah, that's sort of ancient acoustic instruments now.
That's pretty cool. I think the only instrument I ever played was the piano. And I know, Chris, you are learning the piano right now, right?
Yeah. But that's the answer to one of my questions, Lucian.
Oh, sorry. Awkward.
Well, the key
Fine.
word for me is play. I mean, I don't know the instruments as much as I play with them rather than play on them.
Mhm.
So it's debatable. Some people say, "Oh, what instrument do you play?" And when they ask that, they mean, "Can you read music? You know, can you play from charts or music?" No, I can't. I mean, I can play my own songs that I've composed, and I improvise a bit, but that's it as far as I play.
Yeah,
And I have recorded, but sorry.
when I learned how to play, I learned mostly by ear. I never really learned how to read music until obviously I got into choir. Then I did, but most of it was just learning by ear.
Yeah, I know lots of people that do that. There's lots of like professional musicians who don't really read sheet music; they just learn by ear.
Mhm.
That's a kind of big thing nowadays. It's a skill. Do you know what I mean? It's quite difficult to do.
Paul
Yeah.
McCartney doesn't read music. I read that, heard him say
Oh, that's
that
really
somewhere.
cool.
Yeah. And he's
Cool.
like one of the most famous composers of modern pop music,
Mm-hmm. So, moving on, we come to D, which is what is your dream? So, let's start with Chris again.
Yeah, mine's is a bit daft, to be honest with you. This isn't like my ultimate dream. This is just something that I've kind of always wanted, and I think would be pretty cool. And it's a weird thing that me and Sandy, my fiance, have got in common actually. So I want to live in a big mansion that's got secret rooms behind bookcases. You know, like Wayne Manor. Is my dream. Secret rooms that only I know about, full of tarot cards. How good would that be? Next.
All right, I'm going in a different direction because I couldn't remember what this question meant. What was your dream? So I'm going to tell you about a dream I had last night. My dream last night was a nightmare, a very surreal nightmare about carnivorous cornflakes. I opened a box of cornflakes, and all the little cornflakes sort of morphed together into one big cornflake, like the old movie The Blob, And I went to touch the edge of it, and the edge was sharp. It was kind of like Velcro, like that little spiky effect on Velcro. But then when I started touching and feeling that prickly edge, it started like nibbling on my finger like little miniature teeth or something, and started consuming me. So that was my dream. I woke up before it got too far, but I just thought, how bizarre to have carnivorous cornflakes in your dream.
That's hilarious. That sounds awesome, yet terrifying at the same time. I don't know what it would feel like to have like little tiny cornflake teeth consuming you. That sounds very painful. So, I will go next. Dream. This is an interesting one. I mean, I had several dreams. One of them was to become a stylist to the stars, but lately I've been kind of debating on the direction that I'm going. In terms of being a hairdresser, it's something I love to do, but over time, just things get so repetitive. And it's like, okay, how do I get re-inspired again? But my current new dream is to become the next Miss Cleo. Dave bugs me about it all the time. He's like, I married a Miss Cleo, didn't I? I'm like, of course, Dave. My dream is to become like well known and have a movie made about me, a book sighting here and there. So I don't know. My current dream right now is just tarot related. I just love tarot. It's just awesome.
Well, you're in good company.
Which brings us to E, an essential item. Let's shake this up. So, I guess Chris.
Phone.
Right.
Yeah. Like you can do your phone is everything, isn't it? You can do anything on your phone that you want, pretty much, within reason. So yeah, it's got to be my phone.
What about you, Robin?
This is a difficult one because I guess I'm so old at this point that nothing seems essential anymore. You can't take it with you. I've been through a number of things though, where like musical instruments and various things that were an essential item. At this point, right now, in this moment, my my own tarot is my essential item, which is just something that I'm obsessed with lately. And I don't know, I just, all my free time, I'm consulting my tarot. And so, I don't know.
That's awesome. I like the little bag that it's in. That's really cute. So for me, my essential obviously is my phone. I go everywhere with it. I freak out if I don't have it. And if I sometimes lose it, which is like rarely, I will like panic. But actually, other than that, I think my only other essentials are when I travel anywhere, I have to have my tarot decks and I have to have my little blanket that I sleep with at night, especially because it gets cold and I like to press my face into it. So that was E, B, C, D, E. So F is your favorite RWS deck. And I'm going to have Robin go first this time.
Okay. Well, it's a toss up. I have a favorite. Lately, like I said, lately it's my own, but actually my favorite is the RWS 2.0, which I had a tin made for it. And this is by James Rickcliffe and has these, well, I don't have a perfect, I always look for the Empress because it's the prettiest card in the deck. It has this really gorgeous atmospheric sky in the background. But I really, really love this deck. There's a star card.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And this is a really nice swords. Look, I like the sky and the swords card. So this has been my favorite deck for the last year or so, and continues to be. So
That's awesome. Chris, over to you.
Yeah, I was going to say they do the skies really nice in that deck. Like in general, all the skies are really kind of detailed and nice.
yeah.
So if we're talking a RWS clone or like actual RWS, then it's this one. It's the original Rider-Waite. Is what it's called on the box. This is I've kind of taken the edges off this one, but yeah, just because it was the very first one that I got, I learned with it, and I'm just used to it. I know that it's not a lot of people's favourite, but I quite like it. It works well with me. And if we're talking just like kind of RWS inspired type, then it's got to be my good old trusted Lightseers, which I read with every week. I love this.
Yeah, it's awesome. I actually almost forgot about that deck because I forgot it was in my collection. But I was thumbing through my decks right before, and I think at the moment my most favorite is the Borderless Centennial. And it's weird because when I first saw this, especially with the picture, I didn't think I would like it until I finally caved in after watching Simon's video and I saw it and it became actually one of my most favorite ones. So that's what the back looks like. And then just a few cards. It's like the basic RWS. Though the only thing that bugs me about the borderless is that it's borderless on the front, but then you have borders on the back. It's like, come on now. That's just strange. It kind of like, I don't know if it's just me, but it like breaks the flow of the deck when you have like borderless on one side and then bordered on the other.
People in the chat, feel free to kind of join in and tell us what your A's, B's, C's, D's are.
Yeah, because we would love to know.
Get involved. Let us know what you think about ours. If you think my dream is stupid, then that's fair enough. I kind of agree a wee bit. But yeah, join in.
Okay. So, sorry guys, I'm just putting my deck away. So then...
He is gold or silver, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
So silver for me, silver. Jewellery and just in general the colour. I think I like it better.
What about you, Robin?
Silver, I guess. I'm just trying to open up the YouTube chat so maybe I can contribute in there since I can't on this screen, but I'm hoping I don't get an echo here. If I turn the volume down on that, I shouldn't, but sorry. I'm juggling two screens at once here. So it's silver for me, yeah.
Ooh, Simon's favorite deck is the Blushing Fool 1971.
I had a feeling that Simon might say that.
Yep. And then Wiley's is the Albino Weight Tarot.
I've heard, do you know, who is it? Elle from the Sacred Seed. I know she doesn't put out much content anymore, but she did a video about like the different RWSs, and the Albino Weight one is one that's really kind of true. It's really good colouring wise, and the only one that I remember is the High Priestess. You know, she's got the black and the white columns. The white column is actually white, whereas if you look at like this one, for example, and you look at a lot of other ones, it's like off-white.
Yeah.
And there's other cards as well that she uses as examples, but apparently that's like if you're looking for like proper colour, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but do you know what I mean? Like a lot of thoughts went into the actual colours, and it's very precise.
Right. I just have something here because Caroline just said her favorite is the Medieval Scapini deck, and I was actually debating on putting that as one of my favorite RWS, but I was kind of flipping through it. Is it still RWS, or because I've always thought it was like that in between of a PIP and a RWS? So I didn't really know what to classify it as.
Yeah, I've got it, but I barely ever kind of look at it, to be honest with you. So I'm not sure, but from what I remember looking at it, it seems more. It looks like to me like one of the Italian decks, only it's got scenic pips. That's what it looks like. I don't know if I would say RWS, but I could be wrong. I just don't know it well enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like that in between, but it does have some beautiful cards. I think one of my most favorite cards of that deck is the Devil card, and the Death card, and the Tower card, and the Hermit card. Actually, those are my favorites of any deck, but it's by far one of my most favorite ones of any deck. Oh, I didn't even answer the question, which was gold or silver. For me, both. I mean, gold, if it's on me, doesn't look bad, but I'm more of a silver person. I mean, silver hair right now.
Yeah, I was going to say it better be silver since you just changed your hair.
Because my hair's not gold. My hair ain't yellow today. Oh, okay. Simon just said, when I set this tag, I kind of meant RWS clones versus versions of the Pixies work. Oh, okay. Yeah. So literally like the RWS.
Yeah. Sweet. So then mine should be the Lilyback's original Rider-Waite tarot deck.
Yeah, I actually like that one too. So, moving along, our next one is... Oh, height. So fun. How tall are you?
6'3".
Oh, tall. You're taller than me, 6'1".
I'm the shortest one here. I'm 5'5". And then Dave, I think, is 5'6", 5'7", somewhere around there. So I'd be the shortest one in general. I don't consider myself short or small. I am simply fun-sized. That's what I consider myself.
It's weird thinking about your height because I, walk in the street all the time and people always refer to me as, hey, big guy or big guy. It's like, well, I don't know if they're talking about my weight or my height, but I'm assuming they mean my height. Yet I don't really think of myself as tall. I mean, I look at a lot of people and they are shorter, but when I look at them, I don't think of them as short. And I don't think of myself as tall unless, on rare occasion, I'm walking with somebody really, really short and I find myself kind of having to bend over so they can hear me or something. But most of the time, I don't think of myself as a tall person. It's just, I don't think about height in general.
Yeah.
No.
If you've got
You
to
know-
bend over so that someone can hear you, Robin, then I think that says more about their hearing than it does about your height, to be honest.
Well, actually, you know what I noticed in the last several years, a lot of young people in their 20s in my neighborhood, I live in a university neighborhood, a lot of people in my neighborhood are like between 6 and 7 foot tall. And I never noticed height before until now, because now I'm the short person. It's like all these people are towering over me by 6 or 7 inches, which is kind of amazing to me. And so now I'm much more aware of height.
Yeah, you can definitely tell when you're short like me is whenever you need the dishes from above and you have to grab your husband to get them for you because you're too short. So the next one is which is what is your ideal day? So let's start with Robin this time.
Oh, I don't know. I really like sort of hanging out in cafes. So I guess my ideal day would be go to my favorite cafe, get my favorite corner table, order what I like to order, and sit and look at a tarot deck and daydream out the window and watch people walking by and make little notes in my journal and listen to my favorite music on my iPad or iPod. Yeah. And I just kind of like that sort of time. I don't have a lot of space here at home. I'm in a tiny little studio apartment. And when I first moved in, I thought, oh, am I going to go stir crazy here because there's no second room to go to. It's one room. But the rent was so cheap, I thought, well, if I need somewhere else to go, I'll, pay rent to go sit for an hour or two in a cafe and use that as my living room or whatever. So that's I guess that's my ideal day, just kind of hanging out in a cafe.
Awesome. What about you, Chris?
Right, my ideal day. So I would get up reasonably early, maybe about 7ish, but not where I've forced myself to get up. So I'm feeling quite awake. I get a nice cup of tea and I sit on YouTube for a bit. Then maybe like kind of late morning, early afternoon, I'll see my friend and my wee niece, and we'll maybe go to a park or something where Sophie can run wild and she can have fun. Then late afternoon, evening, me and Sandy, we go on a wee dinner date and then we go for a wee movie. So yeah, that's kind of my ideal day. That's like all the things I love to do all crammed into one.
Aw, that's cute. So, I was not really prepared for this question because I just realized I read it wrong. I don't know how I thought of it wrong. I thought it was asking like, what's your general day like, like in a day. So I was like, oh, this will be easy to say because I just wake up, take a dump, feed the cats, watch some Charmed, tarot
lovely.
study, stuff like that. But my ideal day would probably be going to a beach and just chilling out in the waves for an entire day, probably in the morning, and then afternoon would be some kayaking with Dave, or possibly a hike, because we like to do a lot of fun things outdoors. Bam. So, moving right along, joke is the next one. What's your funniest joke?
I can go first if you want. I'll go first.
Okay.
I reserve my rights as to whether this is funny. But so Pat and Mick, right? Pat comes into work, or Mick comes into work, and he's wearing like one black sock and one red sock, and Pat says to him, "Why are you wearing like different coloured socks?" And Mick says, "Do you know? It's funny because I've got another pair like this in my drawer at home."
That's
Wait
funny.
for it to sink in. It's a hilarious joke, right? Moving along. Robin, you're up.
Oh no, this is bad because the first time around I couldn't think of a joke, and I think when you reposed the questions today, I got the questionnaire a little bit early, so I had time to think of a joke, and I still couldn't come up with one. It's like the months in between, I probably have thought of jokes like, oh, I should have told that one. And of course, now that I'm on the spot, I can't remember it. I can't think of a single joke. But maybe if Lucian goes, maybe it'll come back to me, or before the end of the thing, I'll remember it and I can tell it.
It's okay. I'm horrible with jokes. I actually did not even think of one. Crickets, chirp, chirp. That's about it. Should we just kind of move along from that one then? Because I'm horrible when it comes to jokes.
That's all right. I'll carry the both of yous with my sock joke.
Okay, because that one was so funny, Chris. You made up for all three of us. So our next one is kids. Do you guys have any kids? Did you ever want kids if you don't have kids?
I don't have kids. Don't plan on having them. Love kids. Like my wee niece. I talk about her all the time, but yeah, I love her to bits. I treat her like she's a spoiler to bits, but I don't plan on having mine because I like being fucking rich. And that's all I'll say.
Every time you say weenies, I keep hearing you say weenies. And I'm thinking, what is he talking about? It's weenies.
Sorry, we need.
Is it a hot dog thing? What is this weenies? But yeah, no, I don't have any kids. I never wanted any kids. The closest I got to it was the 2 dogs that I had, and the last dog I had passed in 2013, and she was sort of my soul animal or whatever, my little Chihuahua Pearl. And that's the closest I got to a child.
Aw. I have 2 kids. One of them is an angel. The other is a brat. Most of you have actually met one of my kids. He actually appears every now and then. We actually haven't had him on in a while. Right now he's actually sleeping, so shh, everyone be quiet. No, it's my cats, Thor and Loki. Oh my god. I want to kill Thor lately, like almost every night. He wakes me up at 2:00 on the dot, and he'll keep me up from 2 until like 3:30 in the morning. It's horrible. Like half the time I just want to be like lock him in the bathroom and just go back to sleep. It's that bad.
Right.
And then that was me.
I need to say, Fallen, get your joke told. Or you've told it.
Right? Oh, told you. Oh, wait. Scrolling up.
What do you call a blonde with pigtails? I can't see the.
Oh, I don't. Did she answer it?
I can't
What
see
do
the
you call a blonde with pigtails? Oh, pigtails. Oh, yeah, pigtails.
I don't see the answer either.
Cliffhanger.
Oh, here, I'll post it up. So she asked, okay, what do you call a blonde with pigtails?
Yeah, but is there an answer? Or?
I don't think she answered yet. But that's okay. Hi, Shane. Oh, where's the question? Here we go. Bam. Okay, so next is living arrangements. Where do you guys live?
Who's going first?
Where do you live? I thought living arrangements was like whether you're married or not or something. Well, I live alone in a little studio apartment in Greenwich Village, and I guess that answers all those questions.
Well, yeah, because I thought living arrangement was like, do you live in like a house or an apartment or on the moon or
I think it is intended to be because the R is for relationship, so that will get covered then. So yeah, living I think is your house.
Right.
That's the way I took it.
I rent a studio apartment. Live alone.
Okay. What about you, Chris?
We are living in we've got a kind of duplex flat, so it's like a flat but it's got 2 levels. In Glasgow in Scotland, where I'm from. Yeah, that's really all there is to say.
Sorry, there's the answer. So that's what you call a blonde with pigtails.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay.
Naughty.
Yeah, posted.
So physically, I live here in my house with Dave. Mentally, I live inside my head half the time.
That sounds about right.
Right. Marseille deck. What is your favorite Marseille deck?
For me, I'm going to have to say Triomphe de la Luna because it's the only one that I've got. I'm assuming that is a Marseille deck. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a Marseille deck.
Yeah, Triomphe. That's the only one I've got as far as I'm aware.
What about you, Robin?
For me, it's the Tarot des Ozarks, which people say is not a Marseille, but I say it is a Marseille. So it looks to me like it's laid out like a Marseille. So I can't find a pip here to show you, but they look. It looks like Marseille to me. If it walks like a Marseille and it quacks like a Marseille, it's a Marseille. Tarot des Ozarks.
Awesome. And then for me, it's over off on the side is the La Courte de Tarot, as I just came to realize I was pronouncing it wrong before. Yeah, I would say that's my most favorite, the one that Simon gifted me. It makes it even more special. And plus, I like the uniqueness of it because it has like that bookmark shape to it. It's like a deck I had never seen before. So I like decks that are very odd and different. So that would be my most favorite RWS ever.
Marseille. Is that a Marseille though? Yeah. Would you say that's a Marseille?
Yeah, it's Marseille.
Oh, fair enough.
Yep.
Cool.
So next we have nicknames. Did you guys have any nicknames growing up?
Well, that is my nickname, eh? My full name's Christopher. But only my mum calls me Christopher. So Chris is my nickname. When I was at school, I get called CK, my initials. But that didn't stick.
Oh. What about you, Robin?
Oh, I'm reluctant. My mom and my sister called me Rob, but nobody ever else called me Rob. And in school, they called me Crutchy, which I hated, which I'm embarrassed to even say now, because my last name's Crutchfield. And so they just called me Crutchy, and it was mean, and I hated it. So, yeah,
I'm sorry.
Don't call me that, please. Now that I've let everybody know.
Oh. I didn't really have that many nicknames in my past life. My mom and everyone used to call me Maddie. And then now everyone just calls me Lucy. So nothing too special. Unlike my brother, who has like a million nicknames. But that's because he has a very interesting name. So he has all the interesting nicknames to go with it.
What's your brother's name again? Sorry.
What? Who?
What's your brother's name?
Oh, my brother's name is Kyber, but his nicknames are, we all call him Kai for short. Then there's Kai Bar, Bar of Kai, Kibi Deep, Keebler, Kibi Deep Deep. And those are the weird nicknames that he has, unlike me that just has one.
How do you feel about being called Lucy?
Honestly, at first I was like, ugh, I don't like it because it sounds like a girl's name. But then I was thinking of what's that show? The TV show Lucifer, and everyone calls him Lucy. I was like, yes, I can be hot. I can be the devil. I can emulate that. And then it kind of grew on me when I would walk in and Dave would go, Lucy, you're home. So it's grown on me.
It's fun. It's affectionate. What's your birth name?
Actually, I have two. So McCoy was my original, and then I actually found a birth certificate that said David, and oh wait, that's three. And then before I changed my name to Lucian, it was Matthew.
And that was given to you by your parents or Matthew? Oh, and so how did you come up with changing it to Lucian? I'm sorry, I'm really curious about this.
Oh no, it's okay. So Lucian was a name that I had heard, and I was like, that actually is a very interesting name. I wanted something that was a bit different, something that you don't hear often. And then there's like this whole numerological aspect to it. Someone did that for me, in which breaking down like all the letters equals numbers, which equals this. And then it brought out this whole personality aspect that just matched who I was. So I went with Lucian.
Did that create, see, I'm turning this into my interview now.
That's okay.
Did that create conflicts or complications with Dave changing your name to Lucian? Or did he just like flip over instantly into using the new name? Or how did that work out?
Well, like everyone, it just took a little used to. Everyone kept calling me Matthew. And then they go, oh, wait, I forgot you're Lucian. And even today, Dave will be talking to one of our friends and it'll slip out Matthew. And he'll be like, oh, just kidding. I mean, Lucian. I'll give him a look. So, I mean, he didn't mind it. He liked the name Lucian. Everyone liked it. The only people who didn't, obviously, which I can understand, are my parents, because they gave me the name Matthew. And they're like, we don't understand why you have to change it to Lucian. So, but it is what it is.
Did you have a conversation with Dave, since you're partnered? Like, this is what I'm thinking about changing my name to. What do you think about this? Or was it like, you don't have a say, this is what I'm doing?
Oh, no, I spoke to Dave about it, and he was like, hey, it's a name's a name. If you feel like it's who you are and what you want to be, and you're not changing it just for the sake of changing it, then fine. And he was cool with it, because I had a whole backing for why I wanted to change it. And there's a whole spiritual aspect to the name. So, yeah, he was pretty on board. Oh, and Simon just said, sorry, very quickly. I have to go to bed soon, guys. It's late here and up early in the morning. No problem, Simon. Thanks for stopping in.
Good night, Simon. Have a good sleep.
Yeah, and some people actually never knew me when I had my old name. For example, Opal, she didn't know me as Matt or Matthew. She always knew me as Lucy or Lucian.
Do you know, I'm the same, right? I've always known you as Lucian.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been kind of binge watching Simon's Catching Up With series, where he interviews people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working my way through it. I've just been working my way from the bottom and up. And it was funny because I thought I had remembered seeing Lucian on it, right? But when I was kind of looking for his name, obviously I couldn't find it. So I was like, fuck it, I must be remembering it wrong. He's obviously not there. That's fine. So I'm working my way through, and then it's Catching Up with Matthew, and it didn't have a picture of the person that he was interviewing. So I sticks it on, and I was like,
surprise!
I'm so confused. So yeah, it took me a wee bit to realise what was going on.
Well, not only that, because back then when Simon interviewed me, it was a whole different channel name. It was Conjurer's Table.
Yeah,
was our YouTube channel then. And then Dave and I decided to combine, and then we switched it to Cross Paths. That's so weird saying Conjurer's Table. I almost forgot that it was originally Conjurer's Table. I feel like it's always been Cross Paths. Oh, that's weird to think.
Yeah.
So, nicknames, check. So, O is Oracle. What is your favorite Oracle?
For me, I'm not an Oracle person, if I'm totally honest with you all. I really just read tarot, but I do have the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit, and I really like it. I don't know it well enough, to be honest. I have read through the book from cover to cover, but I don't read with it enough to know it well. But I kind of want to. I want to get to know it well. The one thing that puts me off with it is the 7 chakras, and I know all I need to do is read up on the chakras, and then I'll get to be able to read those cards properly. That is the 7 spirit cards. But I feel as though the description in the book for them isn't very good from a reading point of view. So it's put me off it a wee bit. So for that reason, I haven't read with it as much as I would like, but I'll get around to it at some point. But yeah, that's my favourite.
Awesome. What about you,
I
Robin?
only have a couple Oracle decks. I'm not fond of Oracle decks because I don't like decks with text on them. So I actually prefer Oracle decks, if I have them, to be images only, and there aren't that many of them around. I also don't like oversized cards. So this is my favorite Oracle deck, and you actually get to choose one of 8 different backings on it. It's the John Waterhouse Oracle from Tarot by 7. If you don't know her, she's the one who came up with the Deck of the Bastard, I believe. And this is my favorite card in the deck, which is the thing I love about these. They're very British and sort of pre-Raphaelite, and my camera is terrible. It's like this sort of British garden scene, which is very pastoral and peaceful and sort of refined and calming. And when things get too frenetic here in New York City, I pull out this deck, and it just sort of soothes and calms and comforts me. And yeah, it's got sort of burnt edges and just beautiful old pre-Raphaelite paintings, and now they're falling all over the floor.
I like the burnt edges.
Very pretty deck. But yeah, I just read from the images. I don't. Boy, I can't find my camera or the light. Yeah, so there's no text, no books, no words to go by. It's images only to intuit from, and I like that. Your turn.
Here I am. So my favorite Oracle deck is the Roots and Wings Oracle. Bam, right here. I love the backings of it. It's so cool. There is a larger version of this, but I opted for the mini because I have smaller hands, so it's nice to know that your deck can fit in your hands. But it's just a real fun deck to read with, and it's just, to me, it's really easy because you got that one word, because it's very earthy, and it's words that you can relate to. So, for example, here we have balance. Here we have, I can't read this backwards, inspiration. And then we have, what is that? Oh, intuition. So yeah, it's just a very earthy deck that I really like, and it's nice to try and connect with it at times. So that's, oh, and one thing I also like about the deck is they give you a tiny little garden spread to go with it. And then on the back, it shows you the garden spread.
That's nice.
Yeah, nice little, it's always nice when you get those little cards that show you different spreads that you can use in a deck.
Hey,
so
Masha.
That is my favorite one. Oh, Masha's here? Nope.
She just came in.
Hi, Masha. Yay. Why did I just say inspiration out loud like Lucian can hear me? Well, that's funny. Fallen. Yes, because right before this live, I darted off and I was spraying cologne on myself, and Robin and Chris were like, "What are you spraying?" I'm just like, "It's cologne." And I stopped. I'm like, "Wait a minute, no one can smell me. Why am I putting cologne on?" So I understand how you feel.
John is asking me a question. He's asked if I've been to the UK or Europe. Actually, I've been to Europe a couple of times. I went with my band on a little mini tour in 1980. We went to play for the Belgian radio in Amsterdam, and we passed through England. We went on the night ferry from the continent to England in order to get to the airport. And the only thing I saw of England was rowdy groups of boys on the train and the ferry, and then we just kind of made our way to Heathrow. And so, unfortunately, I didn't get to see the UK. I always thought it would be a really quaint, lovely little place, but all I saw of it was traveling packs of rowdy teenage boys on the train and the ferry. So that wasn't a great experience. And then I also went back again a couple times later to, I had friends in the south of France I went to visit, but that's it for my European travels. But now I want to go visit Chris because he lives in Glasgow, and one of my favorite bands of all time was the incredible string band. I believe Mike Herron, who's half of that band, lives in Glasgow. Not that I would ever actually get to find or meet him, but it's, it's sort of a goal. Also, I have Scottish heritage, so that's another reason I'd love to go.
Oh, it's really cool. What
Have
about
either of
you,
you ever been
Chris?
to? Oh, sorry. What was the question?
No, I was the question. So, have you ever been to the UK or Europe? Oh, wait.
I live in the UK.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot believe I just asked if you've been to the UK. Sorry. I clicked you, and then I was looking at the question to make sure I was reading it right. I went, wait a minute. He lives there. Wow.
Well, he could answer the other half about Europe, or if he's been to the US. Yeah.
I've been to Florida when I was 9, so 22 years ago. That's the only time I've been to the US. And, well, I suppose the UK, strictly speaking, is in Europe, isn't it? But been to like kind of Spain on holidays, like Mallorca, been to Magaluf. Where else have I been? Yeah, I can't really think right now. But yeah, Spain and Florida, they're the main places that I can kind of think about going. What about you, Lucia?
I have been to London twice. Trying to think of what other places in Europe I've been to. I'm trying to remember. Is Rome in Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Italy.
Okay.
Italy.
Yeah. So I've been to Italy. I think that's it. I've been to Italy and London twice. That was about it. Overseas. In Europe, at least. So, moving right along. So we're at P, which is, what are you passionate about? Start with Robin.
Oh, what am I passionate about? Oh dear. That's another one that changes all the time. I don't feel like I'm really passionate. Here I am honking my own, tooting my own horn, banging my own gong. I'm passionate about my tarot at the moment. But, in the past, I have been passionate about music and art and playing musical instruments, my pets, viewing art, making art, different things. I also crochet. I've done all kinds of stuff, but at the moment I'm just obsessed with this little deck. So I guess if that's a passion, then that's my passion at the moment.
Awesome. And what about you, Chris?
Passion, well, apart from tarot, my passion would probably be music. So like Lucian had said earlier on, I'm learning to play the piano. So because of lockdown, I've been doing my piano lessons over Zoom, but it's actually working pretty well. So yeah, that's the thing that I'm passionate about. I guess actually we're planning a wedding. And it's 7 months away. It's in February. So to be honest, I probably need to be a wee bit more passionate about that. I need to start getting myself organised. But yeah, what about you, Lucian?
For me, I am passionate about my cats. I am passionate about tarot and hoodoo, voodoo. I do spend a lot of time with my ancestors. Well, actually not lately, because I've been so involved in tarot lately that I haven't really tended to my ancestral altar, which is awkward. They're probably shunning me right now. But yeah, those are pretty much my most favorite passions. I actually, Chris, you inspired me to get back into piano, so I think when COVID ends, I will go back to trying to find a piano teacher so I can resume my piano lessons.
No, brilliant.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
Chris?
No, that's not allowed here, Robert. You can't say anything.
Chris, how long have you and Sandy been together?
7.5 years.
So
more than 7.5 years.
Okay, so this is really poking my nose in. But when did you decide to actually get married, and how did you determine the time frame in terms of distance when the wedding is from? I don't know when you got engaged, or if you got engaged, or whatever.
Well, Sandy proposed to me. Sandy proposed in August 2018, I'm pretty sure it was.
Wow.
It's actually, there's a wee bit of a story. If you want me to tell it, I can tell my proposal story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, but wait a minute. It was in 2018, and he said, let's get married 3 years from now?
No, so he didn't know. He proposed and we got engaged, and then we just we took our time about organising it. And when we finally found the place that we wanted to get married, they were really kind of booked up, really popular. So like February this coming year was the kind of first slot that they had that worked for us, and well, thank goodness. Do you know what I mean? Because we could quite easily, like my brother got engaged just after us, and his wedding was supposed to be in April, just there, and he's had to rearrange it. So it's currently in September this year, but I mean, he could be moving that. We don't really know, but it's still a bit up in the air with that. So I thank goodness we did kind of dilly-dally about and not book it quickly, because we would have probably get caught up in Corona apocalypse. So the story about us getting engaged, so we had kind of, so obviously we're both guys, so as a question of who proposes to who, like we had both said, like we just decided between us that Sandy would propose to me. So I had booked, it was like a Groupon. Does everybody have Groupon? Is that a US thing as well? Yeah, cool. So it was like a wee Groupon voucher I'd used to book some time away in, oh gosh, where was it? Oh god, that's terrible. I can't remember. But wherever we'd booked it, we'd booked to go away, and I just booked an overnight in a hotel. And we got there, and there was no toilet. It was a shared toilet between the whole, between maybe 10 rooms. And we were like that really put us both off, because well, I mean, I think it would put pretty much anyone off. And also the place where we were staying, it was I think the downstairs turned into like a club at night or something. So I really hadn't done my research properly with this at all. So I was feeling really shitty about it and all that. So we went a walk, and where we went a walk, it was I think it was a kind of outdoor activities kind of type area. But we were just kind of walking through this area, and I was like, why is he taking me all the way through this? And anyway, we eventually came back to the hotel, and we decided we were like, you know what, neither one of us feel comfortable being here. We would rather just be at home. So we decided just to come home and not stay there the night and just lose the money. It wasn't massive expensive or anything like that. So that's what we did. And he said to me, do you know what, I was feeling a bit shit, because I was like, I feel as though I've kind of ruined our weekend or whenever it was. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. He says, I've got something for you later on that will cheer you up. So I was like, oh, like Galaxy chocolate, or do you know what I mean? I was thinking he was going to give me a big chocolate bar or something. So that was fine. We went home, and I completely forgot about it, that he'd said that. So we got home and we watched a wee bit of TV and everything. And then at one point he was like, oh, do you want your surprise? And I was like, oh yeah, brilliant, let's do that. So he's like, right, stand up. He says, hold your hands out and close your eyes. And he says that to me quite often, a lot of the time it is just like a chocolate bar or like a sweet or something he'll give me. But he'll say, hold your hands out and close your eyes. So I'm standing like this. And he's like, right, open your eyes. And I'm like, I'm not feeling any chocolate bar. Where's my chocolate bar? So I opened my eyes and Sandy was down on one knee and he proposed to me.
Oh,
So yeah, that was how we got engaged.
nice.
I didn't get a chocolate bar.
Instead, you got a ring.
This is my engagement ring. I wear it around my neck because my skin's terrible.
I was going to ask you about that. I also wanted to ask, is Sandy his birth name, or is that a nickname, or does that stand for something longer? Or
short for Alexander.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I was trying to visualize who names their child Sandy in contemplation that they will one day be an old man, because I've never run across any, white-haired old man named Sandy before. So I was like projecting ahead into your future, what that would be like. Oh, here comes old Sandy wandering down the lane,
Oh, that's so cute.
Sorry, that was a wee bit of diversion for everyone.
Yeah. Okay. That was an awesome story.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah.
That's okay.
So our next letter.
Oh yeah, Wiley Kiley says you should have a chocolate fountain at your wedding.
That would be awesome.
I know, we're going to have a sweetie cart. Or you call them candies. We're going to have a candy cart. So so there'll be plenty of chocolate on that.
So our next letter is Q, which is quote. So do you guys have a good quote?
Oh dear.
I've got a good one. I'm going to tell you the quote before I tell you where it's from. So the quote is, and I might be paraphrasing a wee bit, but it's basically, oh God, where is it? So when the future is uncertain, all you can hope to do is the next right thing.
Aww.
When the future's uncertain, all you can look to do is the next right thing. Where that's come from is Frozen 2, the film.
Oh,
that is genuinely where I got that from. The wee troll says it. He says it to, I think it's Elsa and Anna or somebody. The wee wise troll. He says it, and I was like, that's a brilliant quote. I'm going to use that. So yeah, that's my quote.
That's a good quote.
What about you,
Robin?
I completely forgot about this, and I couldn't think of a wise quote. But I recently shared one, I think, with Chris, because I was, and this is a tarot-related one. I was on one of what's her name? Another channel. Anyway, I forgot her name at the moment. It's just I've gone completely blank. But she had. We were talking about the randomness, whether choosing decks, when you shuffle a deck and choosing a card, whether there is something magical or spiritual about that particular card coming up, and the significance of the importance of that card, and whether, it's meant to be in a cosmic spiritual way, or whether it's totally random. And she said, every card in the deck has something to say about the situation that you're consulting about. And I'm paraphrasing it wrong, but that's the basic idea of the quote, that there is no such thing as a wrong card. Every card has a perspective or something to say about the question that you are posing. So that really gave me a lot of insight and value on consulting cards, and feeling less than certain about, did I have the right card? Well, they're all the right cards.
Ooh, hold on, where I am. Sorry, I was where is it? Where's the comment? Sorry, I'm trying to find. Oh, here it is. Because Phelan just said pagan influenced at least. Very, I agree. For me, I am gonna slightly cheat because I have two different quotes. Most of them are when I'm feeling very down or when I'm trying to help someone else through a difficult situation. So the first quote that I have is when we hit our lowest point, we're open to the greatest change. And then a few weeks back, I was going through a lot of stuff in my life and I was like starting to doubt a lot and feeling very insecure. And a great friend of mine sent me this little thing here that I will read that really helped me put things into perspective. And it says, "You wouldn't plant a seed and then dig it up every few minutes to see if it has grown. So why do you keep questioning yourself, your hard work, and your decisions? Have patience, stop overthinking, and keep watering your seeds." Seed, 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 water, water, water. So those are my two quotes.
That was really nice.
And sorry, I like attempted to say, I'm trying to remember if you said it was Fallon, Fallon truly, but I hesitated because I was like, I don't want to say fallen again.
Oh, I found
So,
it. Sorry.
oh, yay.
I found it, it was Kelly from The Truth and Story. I don't know if you ever watch her channel. She said her quote was, "Every single card in that deck has something to say about the situation,"
Mm-hmm.
and that's just really profound to me somehow. But anyway,
Absolutely. That's kind of like I have been taking Tom Benjamin's course, his Marseille, and what I really liked was how he talked about the cards and not viewing them as like literal, like, okay, this is the card in front of me and this is another card and this is another card, but viewing it in a way of how the cards interact with each other, not just, okay, here's this card, it means this card means this. It's about looking at the interaction of how they move with each other. So I kind of relate to that one as well.
Cool.
Oh, so the next letter is R, relationship status. I'll
Engaged.
go first. Everyone
Go
knows
for it.
I'm married.
do you want to give your history or story about your proposal in marriage?
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we could. Story time. So this is how we proposed. So Dave, I actually a couple weeks before Valentine's Day, because that's when I had planned to propose to Dave, I had made what's it called? A reservation to our favorite um restaurant, the Melting Pot, and I was all prepared. I got the ring, super excited. And then the day of, it started to snow and we couldn't go anywhere. So Dave and I are just sitting on the couch watching TV. And then halfway through the movie, oh, we're watching a movie. Halfway through the movie, I paused the TV and I was like, okay, Dave, hold on. I need to go get something. So just stay right here. He's like, okay, that's fine. I'll just stay right here. I ran to the bedroom because I had hidden the ring underneath the desk because there's like this weird little platform thing, and Dave like never looks underneath it. So I hid the ring under there. I came out and I had the ring behind me, and Dave is standing in the middle of the room. And I'm like, why are you standing there? Like, you're meant to be sitting down. He's like, well, because I need to do something very quickly. And I was like, oh God, please tell me you're not going to do what I think you're doing. He's like, why? What are you going to do? I'm like, probably the same thing that you're thinking right now. And he was like, so what's that? I pulled out the box of that had the ring in it. I was like, well, I was going to propose. No, I didn't say that. I was like, okay, I guess. So I got down on one knee. Dave got down on his knee. I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing? He's like, the same thing that you're probably about to do. I pulled out the box of that had the ring in it. He pulled out his. I was like, are we really proposing to each other at the same time?
No,
He's like,
you're going to
well,
wrestle on the floor.
well, pretty much. And he was like, this is not how I wanted it to go. He was like, I had reservations to the Melting Pot. I was like, shut up. I do too. Are you serious? He was like, we share the same mind. I'm like, yeah, but you could have proposed any other day. We happened to even choose Valentine's Day to propose. So we ended up just exchanging the rings and proposing to each other while it was snowing inside our house. So that's how our proposal went.
It was snowing inside your house?
Oh no, not inside our house.
That's so nice though, because how many people can actually say that's how they got engaged? They both happened to propose at the
Yeah.
same
At the
time.
same time.
Like
And
that's
having the
amazing.
same reservation for the same day.
You
So,
really were
amazing.
of the same mind. Yeah, what
right.
could be a
Sometimes
better
it's
match than
scary.
that? Yeah.
Masha says that she's been married for 15 years.
Oh wow.
Masha, I've
15
been
years.
watching, I'm partway through your interview with Simon just
I-
now. I said earlier on,
Sorry,
I've been
I have to run to the door a second. I'm sorry, guys. Somebody's
All right.
ringing.
Nope. That's okay.
Yeah, Masha says she's been 15 years, so I've been watching your interview with Simon, and Masha, you don't look as though you're old enough to have been married for 15 years, if you don't mind me saying that. Yeah, looking lovely for your age, Masha.
I look forward to being married for 15 years. It's still weird to think that we've been married. Oh, speaking of which, sorry, I'm gonna go back to me for a minute. It's our wait. What's today? What is today? Alexa, what's today?
Today is Friday, July 10th.
Oh, just kidding. Yesterday was our 3rd-year anniversary. So it's an interesting story. We actually have 2 anniversaries. The first one, the legit one, was in January, because that was for Dave's family here in Rhode Island, and we did the whole little ceremony that was freezing cold that we had to rush through, and then it was for his friends here to attend, and then we had a second one on an island, San Juan, in Seattle, because my parents have like this house over there, and we did one for my side of the family. So we had 2 different anniversary dates. And that was a little rant. Sorry. So, next question. We just answered relationships asked. So the next one is S. What is your favorite season?
For me, probably spring. It's not too warm, but the weather's generally nice and kind of warm and sunny. So spring.
That's good. What about you, Robin?
For me, it's autumn, and autumn in New York is so fantastic. They even wrote a song about it. But actually, I liked autumn even before I moved to New York. I think since I was a child, I liked autumn because not only does everything get more exciting and more colorful, but it's this time of year of changes. At the end of summer, it's like back to school time, which is really exciting, you know, getting all stuff together and ready for the new year and new classes and new classmates and new after school activities and stuff. And you've got Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas like just ahead, and all the colors on the leaves are changing, and it's like so fun to watch them like dancing off the trees. And I just love autumn.
Yes.
That's my passion.
I think it's difficult because I have 2 technically. I love winter because of just the whole feel of Yule, and all the Christmas lights go up and everyone just feels happy and it's so festive. And then I also love fall because I love Halloween. It's like one of my most favorite times of the year. I just always feel so happy during that time. So, which brings us to T. What was your first and last tarot? I'm assuming your first and last tarot deck that you had.
Yeah. Me? My first was this. Here's the box for it. The original Rider-Waite tarot deck. About 20-ish, 21, 22 years ago. I got that. I went to Waterstones and got it. The last one, it's different from what I've got written here. I wrote this last night, and the last one was going to be the Everyday Enchantment, but this morning I ordered the Anna Kay and it got delivered same day. So Anna K, it's the last one.
Cool. And then what about you, Robin?
The first one I had, I can't even remember because it was back in the 70s. It was either the JJ Swiss or the Grand Atea. I can't remember it. I don't have either one of them anymore. The last one, I'm not sure if you mean the last one I ordered or the last one I received, because the last one I received was the Golden Tarot of Marseille, sort of
Yes.
glitzy. But the last one I ordered, actually, I'm on a wave of Marseille at the moment. I go in and out of these phases, and I ordered the Tarot de Marseille Fournier, which has these really beautiful warm colors, and they're like really blended colors. It's not it's soft and muted, but it's sort of intense. It kind of reminds me of like what the Marseille version of the Radiant Rider Waite would be, kind of, you know. It's shaded like that, and yeah, I'm excited for that to come.
Yay. So for me, the first deck I ever had that I actually don't have anymore because I gave it away was the Hermetic Tarot. And I got it because I thought it looked really cool until I tried to read with it, and I couldn't read with it at all because I was like, oh, because I realized it was, I think at the time it was a pip deck. I don't quite remember. I just know I couldn't read with it. It was like horrible. So I gave it away. I don't have it anymore. But if we're talking about what just arrived, so these just arrived today. We have the Glassman 1840 Tarot Marseille, and then the Tarot de Marseille Millennium Edition that just arrived. And I'm so happy because I was like waiting for them forever. Well, not forever, but like I was like, where are they?
I think I want that Gassman deck.
Yes, it is out. Actually, here, let me just pull it out. Oh, no! Sorry, the box just fell on the floor. So, let me just quickly show you what it looks like. So, this is what the back of the... Oh, let me zoom in. This is what the back of the deck looks like.
So pretty.
Beautiful blue.
Yeah.
And then the cardstock is amazing. Super, super thick. It's pretty much, I would say, almost the same thickness as the La Corte de Tarocchi that I have, the Il Meneghello one. And then let me just show you a few cards.
Have you shuffled that yet? Can I see the Hangman from that deck?
Oh, actually, it's right here. That was the first one that was on.
Yeah, I really like that one. It's really different because he's like looking, well, actually he's looking at the earth, but it's like a side view of the Hangman's face, which you don't usually get. And it's actually on a gallows as opposed to the usual trees or whatever they have him hanging on.
Right. I'll just show you. Here's the Fool. And then the Magician. But it's just such a beautiful deck. Like, it's the only thing that I hate, though, is just the pointy edges. I just, like, want to trim that off. Which I might. I'm debating, because it's not exactly fun to shuffle and you poke yourself every time. But that's what that one looks like.
Which reminds me, Chris, did your corner rounder ever arrive?
Yeah, it arrived the next day, and I got them all corner rounded the next day. So yeah, my everyday enchantment's all done. Yeah, the only thing is it's not got a catchy thing, but that's fine. I just used a tray and like rounded them all over a tray and caught all the wee bits. So yeah, it's looking lovely.
Yeah.
I just need to find. I was talking to Sophie about this. I just need to find the perfect pen or ink to edge it in. So I'm kind of thinking about red just now, either a kind of deep red or a metallic red. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it was Sandra that showed the other day a deck in metallic red that was like amazing. I'd never seen anything like that before.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, was it the I forgot the name of it. Was it? Are you talking about the deck that?
I can't
Not the-
remember which one it was. She didn't edge it. It came that way. But
Yeah.
I've seen metallic and I've seen red, but I'd never seen like a sort of a chrome metallic red before. Yeah.
Was it the one that when she like brought it to the side, it was like multicolor edges?
No, it was just
Oh, okay. That's a
solid
different one.
metallic. It was like chrome red or something. It was
Hmm.
bizarre.
Cool. Where's my
So
pen?
Robin, that's that corner rounded. So I just used the
Yeah.
smallest setting. So I'm quite pleased with how it's turned out. It's all pretty even.
The encore. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
If I get the gas man, I will definitely round the corners, which probably Masha will probably be screaming at me about. Don't round the corners on that.
Yeah, because the Millennium Edition also, that's just the backing of it, but it comes pointed as well. Oh, actually, there's like tiny rounding to it. It's very difficult to tell at first, but it doesn't poke as much. So
I
actually,
think the
let me do
only
edge that
deck
one.
I got with the sharp corners was the Fantod pack, that gory deck,
Mhm.
and I
Yep.
did round that, and I'm much happier with it rounded.
Yeah, that one was sharp, and then also there's another deck. I think it was the Noble that I also rounded the edges of that one just a tiny bit because it was like super sharp. So, moving along, we just have a few more left. So now we're at you. What upsets you the most?
People behaving badly. That upsets me the most. It's usually sort of not only in consideration, but just people when I'm out in public, like jumping lines or throwing attitude, or just like really just not behaving in a civilized manner, or treating other people really bad. Yeah, that really bugs me.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
I suppose seeing people I care about upset and not being able to do anything about it, that kind of total powerless feeling that you get, when you see somebody hurting, and there's nothing you can do to make it better.
Right.
So I guess that's probably for me what makes me most upset. What about you, Lucy?
Those things combined, and then I thought this was more like tarot related. So my answer to what makes you upset tarot related was what makes me upset just trying or not being able to take the different aspects and elements of tarot and kind of combine them in a way that it's fluid, if that makes sense. So it's like taking numerology with the elemental aspect and then literal, like, what does a sword do, mash it all together, and then say it in an eloquent way. It's just frustrating because for some reason my brain at the moment isn't connecting everything like I would like it to. So
I suspect that'll just come with time, though. As you get
Yeah.
more comfortable and learn more, it'll be like routine. I
Yeah,
think.
well, definitely.
Yep. And then we have V for vlog, which is
What
Oh,
vlog
what
are you
is your
most
most-
proud of?
yes. Sorry, say that again, Chris.
I think it's what vlog are you most proud of?
Yep.
Um,
/ which one's the most popular?
all right.
Oh, I'll go first. The most popular one for us, obviously, at the moment was the Terrathon one because that was just cray, but in a good way. It was a lot of fun. We were super relaxed. And yeah, I think that's the most popular one and the one I'm most proud of because we were super freaking out right before that. So it was good that everything came together as it did. So
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, I'm not a vlogger, so I don't really know if I've got an answer
right.
for that. Unless I
Sorry,
can
Chris.
use one of the videos that we've done together, then I
use
don't.
one of the ones that you've done
So
or been
probably
a part of.
most proud of is probably the first Wednesday night readings that we did. Just obviously I was nervous as all hell before it, and they actually turned out. It turned out okay. So yeah, that kind of gave me a big confidence boost. So yeah, I'll probably say that one.
Good.
What about you, Robin?
So vlog, I'm not even sure what a vlog is. You mean all the videos we do on our channels and stuff? Those are vlogs? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look again at this point. I don't know that I'm particularly more proud of one than any other. I mean, I think the first time around I answered this, I went and I looked at how many people had watched it, because I sort of ranked that as a measure of success or something. I don't know why. I mean, they don't really, in my mind, it's not success, but in other people's minds, I thought, well, the numbers probably mean something to somebody. And in that one, I can't even remember now, but I think it was a hashtag to one of Kelly Bear's challenges or hashtags, and I can't even remember which one now, but it had the biggest numbers. But I don't think it had anything more to do with what I had to say or my responses as it did her. She has huge followers, and so they checked out all the people who had responded to her hashtags, and hence it increased the numbers of that particular blog. So I don't know that I can take any credit for it other than, I responded to it. But as to pride, I don't know. I'd have to go look again to see if there were any I was particularly proud of. I can't think of any at the moment. I'm not doing very well today.
That's okay.
I'm embarrassed.
Oh no, you're fine. So that comes to W, which is weakness. What do you feel a weakness of yours is?
Sweets. Sugar.
Oh, that kind of weakness. No. I think for me, my biggest weakness is I get in my head a lot. I tend to overanalyze situations, and just kind of overthink things, and tend to kind of make things a lot bigger than they are. So I've been trying to work a lot more on just kind of calming myself down during those situations, and kind of stepping away and being like, okay, here's the bigger picture. It's not as stressful as you are making out to seem. So that would be my weakness. What about you, Chris?
Food.
Food?
I said it at the
food.
exact same time as Robin said sweets. Yeah, food for me.
And then for you, Robin, it was sweets.
Yeah, although I'm thinking now back to the other question about my favorite vlog. I think it might have been a hashtag I started, which was called "What's in Your Medicine Bag," which I got a little bit of pushback from because I used the term medicine bag, and apparently someone said, "Well, that's cultural appropriation because." You're only supposed to use that phrase if you're a Native American or something. I don't know if that's the case or not. I mean, I didn't mean it with any particular offense or anything, but I meant it in terms of if you have a little bag that holds all your spiritual tools or something, like crystals and, or cards or rattles or things like that. And so I did a hashtag to that. And I showed all those off, and that was a real fun one to do. And I guess I'm proud of that one. And it got a lot of people also to respond and share what's in their medicine bags, Yeah.
Cool. So brings us to X. X rated. Tell us something naughty you have done.
I can go first if you want. I've got something prepared.
Yep. I'll let Chris go.
So this was maybe around 10 years ago. No, it wasn't that far away. It wasn't that far back because I was with Sandy at the time. So I'm going to say about 6-7 years ago. It was when I still lived in the West End of Glasgow, and I was out I think I was out with work friends or something. I was out at a pub, and I was walking home late. And from where I was about a 45-minute walk home. And as I was walking home, I was absolutely bursting for a pee, like really, really, really bursting. Like that way, it was getting that way where I'm like, I'm not going to get home in time. Like I am actually going to piss myself here. So I was like, right, like, I need to find somewhere. So I don't know. Do you guys know what I mean when I say tenement building? Like an old tenement building? Do you guys have that in
I think
US?
so. Yeah.
Right, okay. So I went down a kind of alley and it took me around to the back, the kind of backs of a load of old tenement buildings. And the way a lot of tenement buildings are in, well, certainly in Glasgow, it's like they're all they're built round almost in a square, but all of the back gardens all face into each other. So it's like when you kind of go down that alley, you're in the middle of them all and you've got all of the backs, right? So I went down this alley. I found it was pitch black. It was like really late at night. It was pitch black. I found what I thought was a discreet place to pee. So I went about business. And it was one of those pees that was like a fire hydrant. And my pee activated the motion
Oh no.
detected lights. So it did. So it was like, I honestly felt like I was in an arena. It was like being in Madison Square Garden. It was like spotlights, and they all set each other off, don't they? So it was like, and it's just me sitting peeing, be like, felt like I couldn't stop, so I just had to keep going and finish. So with all this spotlight and probably like half of the tenement buildings all looking out their back windows to see what was happening, what had set off the lights. So absolutely mortified. And I always now make sure that I pee before I leave the pub.
Oh
There's a
my.
lesson for you kids.
Geez, that sounds like a similar situation I had. It was super awkward. We were, I was with my friends Terrence and Becky and Dave, and we were walking along the Newport Cliff, which you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. But it's like this pathway that's on the edge of a cliff in Newport that overlooks the ocean. So we're getting to like this little tunnel area that's really cool because you walk underneath this weird tunnel thing that's like in between. That it goes kind of, it's weird. It goes like under the cliff and then back up the other side. And I had to go to the bathroom super bad. And I'm like, oh, no one's here. I'll just quickly go. And I was like, Dave, go on ahead. Let me know if anyone's coming because I looked behind me and clearly I didn't see anyone. So I thought I was fine. So of course Dave goes through and he doesn't say anything, so I assume, you know what, it's fine to go. So I whip it out and I'm just about to go, and this couple comes in and out the other side facing me, and I whipped around. I was like, oh my god, why are they looking at me? And he gives me this look as if like, what the hell are you doing over there with your pants down? And of course they walk by, I do my business, I run through, and then I was like, Dave, why didn't you tell me anyone was coming? He's like, oh, I forgot. I was like, how the hell do you forget that to tell me that someone's coming in on the other side? Like I like had everything out, and he gave me a look like I was like some pervert. So that was an awkward situation for sure. But naughty situation.
Funny.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Dave slacking in his duties
So,
there. What about you,
I
Robin?
know.
Have you got an X-rated story, or are
Oh
you
God,
gonna
I have way too many X-rated stories, and my idea of X-rated is completely different than everybody else. When I first did this, nobody wanted to say anything, and I was the only one that did. And I didn't elaborate, and I'm not about to elaborate here, but I was much more promiscuous in my youth. And I'll just say that I had sex with a Russian classical pianist who was particularly well known, who was touring in the city, and also on another occasion with a famous porn star. And this was like back in the 70s. But I'm not going to tell you who either one was or tell you any more details than that. That's
Yeah,
X. That's
Robin,
X.
I think a wee message after this live is in order there.
Right. Details.
Private message, but not not on here. Oh, I was gonna say, I was gonna cheat when it said X-rated. I said, well, I have a xylophone. I play the xylophone. That's my X-rated response. But
That's what, like, see when you look at kids' books, why is it that X is always for xylophone?
Yeah.
Like, how many kids do you know that genuinely have a fucking xylophone? Like, why is X for xylophone?
What else are
Anyway.
you gonna use? An X-ray is all there is, I think. You know. Can you think?
Do you know what? I'll work on it, and at the end of this, I'll come back with something.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just reading Sophie's, and she was like, "With that sex hair, I bet you've been in many naughty situations, Lucian." Oh gosh, like so many guys. No.
Oh, Fallon says she had sex in a hayfield once. It was itchy.
Oh,
my.
yeah.
I
You
can
get
imagine
straw
that.
in places where straw should never be.
Right.
Straw,
Yeah.
hay.
So we have two left. Up next is why, which is yesteryear. What's your favorite year and why? I can answer this one. Any year but this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. This is like the worst year so far. It makes everything pale in comparison.
For me, I'll say 2018 because it was the year that I got engaged and it was the year that my niece was born.
Aw.
So yeah, that.
Actually, I'm having a sort of a Dickens year. It's kind of the worst of times and the best of times because as bad as it is, the last whole year is the time when I've gotten more involved in online activities, the whole tarot community and starting my channel. I'm actually coming up on my anniversary. I think it's sometime probably at the middle of July. It'll be 1 year since I had my channel. And
wow.
getting to know all you people, and I mean that's been really wonderful. So in some ways, it's been the best year. But then there's all the other crap that's made it a really crappy year. But I'm hosting a writing group, and I've been doing a lot of writing and having a lot of fun with that. And so there's a lot of, and creating my own tarot deck. Here I go again. No, and that was a lot of fun. So I mean, it's been a really great year, and despite everything, it's been a great year.
That's good. And wait, Chris, did you already mention? Oh yeah, you said the year that you were engaged. For me, honestly, yeah, I'd have to say any year other than this one has been fantastic. I can't really pinpoint a specific one. Which brings us to the final letter, Z, Zen. What do you do to relax or stay calm?
Who's first?
I will go first, I guess. So for me, I meditate, or I smoke hookah and watch Charmed, or I will study tarot to relax, which is weird. You'd think that'd be more stressful. What else do I do to relax? Sometimes I will light my ancestral altar, or I'll just kind of rearrange it. I forgot my other hobby, actually, hold on. I'm going to go back to, which one was it? I forget which one it was, but it was talking about like what you like to do. Instagram. I really love taking photos for Instagram, so that actually really helps calm me as well. Just something about producing a really interesting picture that is dynamic really helps calm me because in a way it kind of, what's the word? It distracts you from anything that's stressing you. So, yep, that's what I do to calm down.
Cool.
What about you, Robin?
Oh, a lot of things. Well, deep breathing. I'm trying to think of things that soothe or calm me. Deep breathing, cafes again. Like, it's funny because coffee, if you have too much coffee, you can get really hyped up. But I find that like a latte will really like mellow me out. But maybe it's because it's got all that hot milk in it. I don't know. But also, I like to crochet. Crochet is very zen and meditative to me. Weaving and crochet, like pulling one loop through another loop, through another loop, through another loop until you have this whole field of fabric. It's just very zen and soothing. And also writing in my journal, just having quiet time to write in my journal, or look at cards, lay out a spread of cards and look at them. All those things are very zen for me.
What about you, Chris?
I've noticed that Zane's come back in, so I didn't get a chance to say hello before. So hi, Zane. Zane, I actually watched your video to make my notes from as to what all the A to Z was. So thank you. My Zen. So there's a couple of things. So right now I'm working from home, and one of the things that I notice when you work from home, you know, how when you're working in an office or when you go to work, when you come home, you remove yourself from that environment. So that's almost like you leave your kind of work there and you leave it behind and you come home to your safe space, to a different environment. When you work from home, that you don't really have that as much. So you need to find ways to change your mindset, get yourself out of one headspace and into another. And the way that I do that is I have a shower. I have a shower in the morning and then I'll have a shower in the evening when I finish work. And I enjoy my shower. It really relaxes me. It kind of helps move me out of that headspace. And the other kind of things that I like to do are watch TV, film and TV, and I like to sit in bed on my phone and watch YouTube, watch all you lovely people. So yeah, that's me. That's what I like to do.
Yay!
I can hear myself.
I know. Sorry, my earphones just died. Oh, hold on. Oh,
You need to get new earphones.
I know. I do. Hold on. Let me see if does this plug in here.
Can anyone else hear me echo back, or is it just me?
I hear you, and me too.
Sorry, guys. Oh, hold on. Let me see if. Oh wait, no. If I did that, I can't hear you at all.
What are they anyway?
Yeah, we're almost done anyways.
How long we're going to chat for? It's just when me and Robin are speaking. If you can mute Lucian, and that way.
Oh yeah. So
this is not at all zen.
There we are. So when Lucian's muted, we're fine. So we just need to make sure that before we speak, Lucian mutes himself. So yeah, that's our A to Z. That was good fun, and that actually lasted almost a whole 2 hours. Didn't that?
Right. No, still muted. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Okay, muting again.
I was just going to ask, what do we want to do? Are we just going to kind of have a wee look through the comments, finish up? I'll maybe pull a wee card from my new Anarchy Tarot if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, let's do that. So, oh, I like what John T said here. I'm just going to mute you guys for a second. Oh, the power. He just said, I agree, best and worst of times. Without all this free time, wouldn't have found this community and tarot again. I agree. It's interesting because with everything that's been going on COVID-wise and everyone like complaining because like, everyone's been stuck at home, not being able to do things. It's also been a blessing at the same time because we're able to spend time with our families and get to know a lot more about that other person that you didn't know before. And with everything going on work-wise, it's kind of like you've been given that time to rediscover things about yourself that you didn't know before. You've had time to work on things that you have wanted to but didn't have the time. So Yeah, I think that COVID in a way has been kind of like a blessing at the same time, even though it's been horrible. You guys can talk now.
What were we saying? Oh yeah. John T had said about this year. Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree. What it's really kind of brought into, it's highlighted for me, is like we all get Facebook memories, yeah. Like you look back at your Facebook memories, and what I've noticed that every year, um, I wouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people will complain, "Oh, this has been the most awful year ever," and you get a lot of people in my newsfeed have done that pretty much every year. Do you know what I mean? And when you get a year like this that is actually a global shitey year, it makes you really notice makes you appreciative of the kind of the year before type thing. Um, so yeah, I I suppose it just kind of brings things into perspective and makes me think like try and it motivates me to try and be a wee bit more positive and live in the now type thing. Um, so yeah, make the best of it, whilst we have this
Can I,
lockdown situation and we don't have to work. Sorry, Robin, on you go.
can I show you something? Because you're talking about the year, and you said you wanted to pull a card, and I pulled a card from my deck, and it's not the best, most handsome card of my deck, but it's the World card, and I thought, oh, that really kind of sums up this year for me because stepping out into the world, and it's not the most perfect little circle, and the expression on the face is a little bit apprehensive, but hey, he's sort of dancing out there, dancing out into the world with both drumsticks there in hands, getting ready to play a little bit and have some fun and experience things. And so, yeah, that kind of sums up the last year for me, this sort of the good and the bad all in one, stepping out into the world.
If you're gonna step out in the world, don't forget your mask. Oh gosh. Yep. So, guys, that is the completion of the hashtag TarotTubers A to Z. We
I think Chris wanted to share a card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lucian, you need to mute.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'll just pull a card for everybody for the collective for the weekend, shall I? Just like I kind of we tend to normally do on a Friday. Thumbs up. We are doing readings tomorrow. Me, Lucian, and Dave are going to be doing readings tomorrow, but we'll kind of pull a wee card for the weekend and see if we can find some inspiration for everybody. So bearing in mind this is literally the first time I've read with this deck. Okay. So a blooming well got a court card, didn't we? So we've got the King of Pentacles. Okay. So kings. The kings are bigger picture. Okay. Sometimes we tend to resent that a wee bit as individuals. If we come across king energy, sometimes we need somebody to kind of pay a wee bit of attention to us and not be so concerned about everything else that's going on. But yeah, the kings they've always got one eye on the bigger picture. They're always about the security of their element, the security, the stability, and of course with Pentacles being about the things that make us feel secure and safe, the home, health, and all that kind of thing. King of Pentacles is usually a really good business person. He'll always be kind of financially sensible, economically sensible. He might sometimes come across as a wee bit stingy, frugal. Might have that kind of energy about him because obviously he's always making sure that there's enough money in the pot to kind of keep things running. Okay, so I suppose maybe the message for this weekend is for us all to maybe kind of try and be a wee bit more conscious. I know I certainly kind of just bought a tarot deck today. But just make sure that we've always got one eye on that bigger picture. Okay, so this I'll let each and every one of you kind of interpret it for yourself. This might be talking about your health. This might be talking about your money. It might be talking about your house. You know, any of these things that make us feel safe and secure and happy in our lives. That's what the Pentacles is all about. That's the journey of the Pentacles. So one eye on that bigger picture. Make sure that you're taking everything into account. Make sure that you're always ensuring that overall you're going to be stable. Now, for me, I've told you all that in about 7 months' time, 7 months, I'm getting married. For me, I feel like I need to lose a lot of weight before I get married. So I'm rejoining my it's called Slimming World. It's kind of like Weight Watchers. I'm rejoining my class tomorrow morning actually, to kind of try and get some of that weight off. Over the next 7 months, hopefully in 7 months' time, you will be able to track my journey through these videos if I'm still doing them then. So this is particularly prominent for me because that's what it means for me. It's about taking control of my health and trying to cast forward, think about the bigger picture, thinking about what I'm aiming for. I'm obviously aiming to look good on my wedding day. So that's my king energy, and my pentacle energy is obviously about my weight, it's about my health. So that's how I'm going to use this energy this weekend. I'm going to use that obviously to kind of get me started. The classes tomorrow morning, and then obviously I'm going to have to plan all my meals out and stuff like that. So how's everybody else going to use that energy? That's I'm interested to know. Sorry, I talked for a wee bit there, didn't I?
That's okay.
You all right there, Lucian?
Oh, no, I'm good. Oh.
Your thoughts?
Yes. That was a good card. I agree with you. I definitely need to focus more on the healthier aspect, especially as my dad pretty much just sent me I called him yesterday just to see how he's doing. He's good. And of course he brought up the whole weight thing as he usually does. So I'm like, I think that's a sign. So yeah, I definitely have to look more into the healthier aspect of my lifestyle, just like you do.
Cool. Right, well.
Anyways, yeah, we shall wrap it up. So thank you everyone for stopping in. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Robin, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun to have you here. Yeah, so that's it. So bye everyone. Hope you all have a good rest of your night, and thank you all for stopping in.
Yeah, thanks very much everyone for popping in. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for all your lovely comments, keeping it going. I know these are all hearing this echoed back. So thank you and bye.
Bye everyone.